Cafe anyway. Hey.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I should just call this Mike's Weekly Podcast at this point. I just could not get a podcast out this week. It's episode 2419. Mike's Daily Podcast. 2419-200419. How are you? I hope you're fine. It's Mike. Yeah, I'm singing to you about stuff, and it's going to be right about now that I come up with another song that makes this one sound wrong, and then I just fell on my Mike's Daily Podcast. Badonkadonk? Is that what we... Anyway, Cafe Anyway, welcome to the show today. I'm Mike's very happy to finally Daily talk to you here podcast. At Cafe Anyway somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Experiencing as a manager for a company. I'm a manager at a company. I don't manage an entire company. That would be... wow. No, but I manage several people. I work with some great people. And it's just when I have a day off, we have a holiday today where we actually take off Good Friday. And I am just making sure everything is still running because stuff is still running. The station is still, people are still paying for, what they need that I help them with at the radio station. So it's weird because I'm off, but I'm not really off. It's difficult. But that's what you do as a manager. I liken it to someone who manages a Starbucks. What they probably have unionized by now because they're unionizing all over the place in the Starbucks world. But yes, got to make sure the place is still running even when you're not there is my point. But here we are at Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And yes, I do manage this place as well, or try to anyway, keep it going. Cafe Anyway. And here's today's podcast picture. The podcast picture. Thank you so much, A-Frame, for telling us what the podcast picture is. I'm going to jump to a recent highlight. I just had a beautiful sunset picture appear, and I took this recently in the town of Fremont. So see this wonderful podcast picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Because that's what I have a lot of at my website, MikesDailyPodcast.com, which I pay for. And so I hope you enjoy it. And there's the late great Basil the Boxer, who's been in many a podcast picture. Yes. And I went on a very interesting trail just walking along. Ooh, we might do that. Okay, we're going to do another sunset picture from Fremont, but this is more towards Niles. I'll have a description of it. See it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Wonderful. Okay. So, today I have a day off. It's been a busy week. It's been a lot of, when things are consistent, you can plan for stuff like doing a podcast. Things were somewhat consistent last week, but this week it was all over the place, like this podcast. So when you're all over the place, my point is, it is very difficult to get into a rhythm of bringing you a podcast. So today was tax day. A lot of people waited to the last second. I know someone who was using that tax website and running into an issue where they were trying to upload something and it wasn't happening. And when you wait to the very last second, it can be very stressful. So she was saying to me, I need to budget better. That's the whole problem. I am like having difficulty with actually budgeting stuff. Well, step one in developing a budget is write down what you spend. I cannot get through paying for anything without it being emblazoned in my brain. I still know I think, about how much it cost to ship all of my mom's paintings back to California from Florida after she passed away. So to me, budgeting is a lot more. It's more organic because it's happening in my brain. But some people, they just spend, and they don't. You know what? Some people, they try one another, dance and bang for another with that. How about us? That's another thing, champagne. My lovely lady friend and I were watching some of the videos that Champagne made. And oh my gosh, I don't know all the band members. This is my little music diatribe, which is featured in just about every Mike's Daily podcast. But I cannot remember the guy's name. I'm going to look it up real quick. But oh my gosh, this guy's voice was amazing. And I don't have any Champagne records. But wow. That was the big hit. Polly Carmen. Let's see. He left in 1985 for a brief solo career and landed a moderate dance hit with Dial My Number. I don't remember Dial My Number. He and the group reunited in 91 for the album Champagne 4. He's Grammy nominated, multi-platinum recording artist. They also had the hit Try Again and Off and On Love. But the one, some people, they want to know. Watch the video. Polly is in this crazy pink sweater and singing seductively to, who was the woman in, Champagne? Rena Jones. Later, Rena Day. She's singing, and I don't know what her sound is. I don't have any of her albums. Was who that was. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. And let's see. There's Rena Jones is actually somebody else, an American musician, producer, and audio engineer. She released 5 solo albums, but Rena Day is the one from How About Us? As we go outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, last place on earth.
Tell us a joke.
Did you hear the joke about the bed? Mike, did you hear the joke about the bed?
Well,
it ain't made up yet.
It's hard to track down Rena Day information. Dick Clark, they're on YouTube, interviewed. Here we go. I went to Discogs, and here we go. Okay, Rena Jones. She's also known as Rena Day, and
you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Looks like did some.
Yay! Chop it up.
Did an album called Spinnin'.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
And I'll have to dive more into that. But that song's been stuck in my head lately, and that's just
dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Where music gets to us sometimes.
Dilly dilly.
Gets trapped in our brains. And we stop thinking about things like working on our budgets and writing down what you spend. But yeah, like anything that's complicated in life, try and keep it simple at first. Take it little steps at a time. When I went through all the craziness with my mom passing away, I just took it in little bits at a time. Okay, did we fix that problem? Let's go. Little bit, little bit, little bit. And just keeping an eye in the future on the big goal of getting through it all, but trying to do what I could in little chunks. And don't worry about anything. This is deducted before you receive your paycheck. Write down, keep it at first. Don't worry about anything that is deducted before you receive your paycheck. I think they meant to say,
I was gonna make espresso.
I think they did not write that down right. Okay, step 2, track all your spending, even if it's $3 you paid to park your car or buy a bottle of water. Track all your spending. Prioritize. Be sure you account for food, water, clothing, and shelter first in your budget. the essentials. Avoid temptation. Don't torture yourself by skimming through catalogs delivered to your home. Cancel them. Well, that used to be. Now it's all on the internet. You can just click on something like Pinterest or whatever and start doing shopping, surfing that way. But yeah, avoid the temptation. Unsubscribe. You'll be less tempted to overspend if you aren't bombarded with daily emails about all the stuff you could buy. Remember the stuff that's free, like podcasts. Remember those little bits of entertainment. You know, if you shut off all your streaming, then you've still got YouTube. You can watch videos, or a lot of cable companies that you pay for will give you some free channel of some kind. There's things that you can watch that probably are even better for you that don't cost money in this world. They just have to learn how to click skip ad. As soon as you see skip ad, remember you got to click on that. A big glass jar on your table that says you're all about investing in your own future. Have a visual reminder that helps you focus on the long-term benefits of sticking to your budget. And that would be just to remind you of the goal. So that is, it can be done. People that have had it worse off than you have been able to get through it. So you can do it outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. How about us? The last place on earth. Look who is here. Hello, my message, Madame Rootabega on the earth. I have a budget. Ooh. Do you spend money on jewelry? Yes. Did you buy that huge ring that's on your hand? Yes. Would you like to buy me a ring? No. I can understand why. I probably wouldn't wear it. I am not a fan of... When I was married, I had a ring on my hand, and it was annoying. It was always there, and I would hit it, and it hurt, and we need to help Mike's hands by not worrying. You can get used to it, and some people love it. I just was not into, like, oh, look at that shiny thing on my hand. Well, you know, you're a guy, so it ends up being a little, like, silvery ring. Oh, wait, no, this was special because you could spin, the middle moved. It did one of those spin around things. So if you were like fidgety, that was your fidget wheel. That was your thing you could move around. I don't miss it. Look who else is here. Hello day, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, this podcast has been very informative today. Yeah, informative. Do you know that? Thank you. I'm glad, because I haven't done one in a while. I haven't been really in the most informing mood. All the stuff that gets thrown at me. I got to learn to build a wall. I got to stuff in my ears so I don't have to hear some of the stuff that causes me stress in life. And just take it one day at a time. You know, like the thing with the pacing, with the budgeting and the little thing. You need to make it little things. Bring it down to a level that you can actually do. You know, that I also need to do more regular exercise, which I'm doing. That helps out. And, you know, limiting the alcohol, that helps. And it always helps to connect with supportive people. That helps. People helping you realize what's important in life. Positive people. At any rate, that's the podcast today. It was a short one, but I want to thank you for listening, even though you aren't real, because there are no listeners to this podcast. They don't exist. Any downloads or plays that I have that I see in my statistics, I'm sure that's a bot. So thank you for not listening to this podcast, even though you were listening, I think. Huh? What? But thank you for doing that. The non-existent listener. I always appreciate you. But if you would like to become more existent, you can call me at 336-MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast will try to be for the next couple of days. But right now, I think we're just kind of in a weekly phase per week. And we'll see how that goes. How about us? Oh, and for more ways to contact me, here's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!